If you sometimes feel like you're floating just outside your own life, watching it instead of living it, this is for you. Picture this. You're driving home, a route you've taken 100 times. You look down at the clock, and somehow 20 minutes have passed. You don't remember the last 3 turns. The steering wheel feels like it belongs to someone else. The street outside your window looks familiar, but it doesn't feel real, more like a photo of your street than your actual street. For a few seconds, you're not sure you're really there at all. If that sounds strangely familiar, you're not broken and you're not alone. What you just felt has a name. It's called dissociation, and it's far more common than most people realize, especially for people living with borderline personality disorder. Clinical psychologist Dr. Daniel Fox, who specializes in personality disorders, has spent years working closely with people who go through this. And what he's found lines up with something important you should know before we go any further. This is treatable, and there's real hope attached to it. So let's slow down and actually understand what's happening in your mind when this hits, why it happens, and what you can do about it right now. First, let's define it simply. Dissociation is a kind of mental checking out. Your mind steps away from the present moment. It's not something wrong with your character. It's your brain trying to protect you, and it tends to show up in one of 3 ways. The first is called derealization. This is when the world around you stops feeling real. You're sitting in your car or watching this video, but everything feels like it's behind glass, like you're standing in a dream about your own life instead of actually living it. The second is depersonalization. This one is a bit different. Instead of the world feeling unreal, you feel unreal. Your own thoughts, feelings, and actions feel like they belong to someone else, like you're watching yourself in a movie instead of being the person in it. The third is dissociative amnesia. This is trouble remembering important things about yourself or what just happened, especially connected to something painful like combat, abuse, or witnessing violence. It can start suddenly, and it can last minutes, hours, days, or in rare cases, much longer. Now here's the part that matters most, and it's the part that explains why this happens to some people far more than others: trauma. Specifically, early trauma. Dr. Fox's clinical work points to something striking. Among people along the borderline personality disorder spectrum, about 71% report having been physically abused, 67% report sexual abuse, and 62% report growing up around domestic violence. That's not a small pattern. That's the majority of the people he sees. So if dissociation has ever shown up in your life, it's not random and it's not a personal failure. Your mind learned a long time ago that checking out was a way to survive something unbearable. That skill kept you safe once. It's just that now, it shows up in moments when it isn't needed anymore, and that can feel confusing and even frightening. Here's the hopeful part, and it's worth sitting with. Among people with borderline personality disorder who experience intense dissociation, about 90% see those episodes fade over time. They don't disappear for everyone forever, though. Of that 90%, about 30% will go through a period where the dissociation comes back at a similarly intense level. But flip that around, and it means 60% of people on the most severe end of this spectrum do not have it come back. They learn a set of skills, they keep using them, and the dissociation stays managed. That's not a small win. That's the majority. So what are those skills? They're called grounding techniques, and they all do one simple thing. They pull your attention back into your body and your surroundings, right now in this moment. One is slow breathing. Breathe in gently from your stomach, not your chest, and as you breathe out, picture your worry leaving your body along with the air. Another is a simple visualization. Imagine putting all your stress into a basket tied to a hot air balloon. Then picture that balloon drifting up and away until it's out of sight. If it drifts back in your mind, just send it further away again. Another is touch. Holding something with texture in your hand, a small ball, a soft toy, even a set of keys, and focusing completely on what it feels like against your skin. Some people carry a small object just for this, so it's always within reach. A cold cloth over your eyes works the same way. So does listening closely to calming sound, ocean waves, rain, quiet music, anything that gives your attention somewhere steady to land. Even walking slowly and noticing each footstep, the ground under your shoes, can bring you back into the present. And then there's one exercise many therapists use, sometimes called the 5 senses check-in. Name 5 things you can see around you right now. Then 4 things you can physically feel, like your clothes against your skin or your feet on the floor. Then 3 things you can hear. Then 2 things you can smell. And finally, 1 good thing about yourself. If it doesn't pull you all the way out of that foggy feeling right away, that's completely okay. This is a skill, and skills take practice. Being patient with yourself is actually part of what makes it work. If this is something you deal with often, it's worth reaching out to a mental health provider. And it is completely fair to ask them directly whether they have experience helping people with dissociation. A good provider will never be offended by that question. If someone is, that alone might tell you they're not the right fit. You now understand what dissociation actually is, why it shows up, and several real techniques you can start using today to bring yourself back into the present moment. If any of this felt familiar, you're far from alone in it, and there is a real path through it. If this helped you understand yourself, or someone you care about, a little better, tell us in the comments which grounding technique you're going to try first. And if you want more videos like this one, breaking down real mental health topics in plain language, subscribe, because there's more coming.